daytime, and they have to cut at night down to 250 or something like that. But they go out and they get these little, I think they're 250 ERP watt stations. That it's basically a box with an antenna that they mount up on somebody else's tower, and they like what is it? The Salem radio is a combination of conservative and Christian. They have news stations or talk stations, and they also have full gospel kind of Christian stations. But the one in Detroit, WDTK, which is on 1400 AM, 1,000 watts day or night, and it's right in Highland Park, Michigan, not a very posh part of Detroit. But anyway, somewhere out in Oakland County, they put up a 250 watt ERP, low power FM repeater essentially, and they get really good coverage all over Detroit. Go ahead.
Hey, I was in Sierra Vista, Arizona when I was retired out of Fort Huachuca, Arizona, Sierra Vista, and they had a station called KZMK. You know how much their power was? 80 watts. It's 80 watt ERP. And Tucson was 70 miles away. You could pick them up all the way.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, who would have thought it and stuff like that. And I worked for a couple of years in broadcasting. Never was very famous or popular or anything like that, but it was kind of fun. But one of the things I'm also on Facebook is like a radio history or an old-time broadcasting page. And I like the history and stuff, but a lot of the people out there are really angry. They said that radio compared to what it used to be in the '60s is just dead, and it's they hate the profit motivation and stuff like that, and I try pointing out to them, not with much success, that back in the 30s and the 40s, a lot of radio stations employed hundreds of people to put live shows on the air, like the Lone Ranger or something like that, or was it the Hermit's Cave or the Shadow or something like that. A lot of those came out of Detroit from WXYZ, and nobody decried in the 50s and the 60s when they went to recorded music and disc jockeys and things like that, and now they think that now that radio is going to syndication and talk, they decry the capitalist model. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got a local station here. It's called WDYG. They play oldies, and he has a talk show. Very profitable. 24 hours a day. And he just about several years ago, he replaced his old Bauer transmitter with D&E. It's wide by about 3 feet long, and it's 1,000 watt transmitter. He was paying something like close to $700 or $800 a month for his electric bill, and it cut his electric bill in half that he's on the transmitter. He runs that, and he gets in. They used to cut down to 250 watts. As long as they stayed with that area, that 250 watts would almost go as far as 1,000 watts. Because I talked to an engineer in my local cabinet, and we had 1,000 in the daytime and 250 at night. If you showed the chart, it showed me that it's almost as far as 1,000 watts.
There was a station kind of sort of like that. When I remember it first back in the 50s and the 60s, it was WQTE, and it was like an FM station on AM. It was very easy listening, but that kind of died out. And maybe like in the late 60s, early 70s, they went to they called it Honey Radio, and they broadcast the oldies. And for a while there, then they went to Big Band format, which I thought was absolutely wonderful. But now I've kind of lost track of what they're doing, but they used to cut their power at night down to, this is on AM, it was like 13 watts or something like that. And they were in Monroe, Michigan, about 50 miles from where I lived in Sterling Heights, Michigan. And I could still pick them up on my car radio. KQ4BST, K8DXX.
K8. Station that we got here is called Wolf FM, and it has the AM portion of it. They cut down, they 5,000 in the daytime, they cut down to 120 at night, and I can still see it. I didn't even know they cut the power.
Yeah, I would imagine the radios are getting a lot better than they used to be. It just amazes me. Well, even like this little FT710. Now, it's not as good as the Flex. It's not as flexible as the Flex, but boy, I've had really good audio reports out of it, and I've, talked to guys, running little vertical antennas and 100 watts and halfway across the country. It's, I understand the physics of how it all works. Realize it depends on propagation. It just really, if somebody would have told me that for $879 I could get something that did all the stuff that the FT710 does, back in the 60s, I wouldn't have believed them. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've talked to, when I use this in the States, I usually cut the power. I go QRP on this. I don't need the 100 watts. I cut it down sometimes to 10 watts or 5 watts. In fact, I was working, trying to tune the 17-meter band. So it will work. I used to tune it with 5 watts. And I talking to somebody on the 17-meter band. 5 watts. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, 17 is a great band. Well, listen, Marvin, we probably ought to cut it short here. At least on my end, your signal is really dropping down into the noise and stuff like that. And I've played it on a receiver, but I think this is about all I can do. But unless we come up, unless the band improves between the two of us, I think we're going to lose each other anyway. But are you copying me okay there? I'll go ahead.
5.9 here. It's going a little bit in the red. The red is 5.9 plus, but it's going 5.9 plus 10, 15 before, but it's kind of dropping a little bit. Well, I'll let you go, and I want to wish you a Happy New Year. It was very nice talking to you. When I put you in on my QRZ, I was trying to get my computer up, but I'll put you on there as a contact. And it's a nice QSO, and I appreciate talking to you.
Well, okay, Marvin. It's really been fun today. I had to preach today at 4 o'clock, which was wonderful. The sermon went over well and things like that, and I'm thanking God for that. But before we went to church, I took about an hour and 15 minutes or something and got on the air. And I was talking to more people that are like in their mid-70s to mid-80s who are still alive, vibrant, and they're learning about things technical. They're learning about, they're not afraid to talk politics. A lot of these guys were Christians. And anyway, it's just really neat to see, that life doesn't end when you cross 60 or 70. These guys, in fact, one guy just like you, got into ham radio at age 73. I think that's fantastic. God bless you. Have a great year, and stay in the faith, brother. KQ4BST, K8DXX. Wish we could stay longer. The station who said I was 5'9" in central Pennsylvania. Rotated my antenna a little bit towards you. I guess it's, let's see if we can make it go, but station in central Pennsylvania, thank you for the call. This is K8DXX. Yeah, well, we're in Florida right now, but name here is Bill Baker, Ida Lima. Bill, I'm in Sebring, 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 Florida, about 80 miles south of Orlando. And if you can repeat the call once or twice for me, the conditions are a little bit dodgy here, but I don't know, maybe if you're running 100 watts like the other guy, I'm running 1500, so maybe that's why you hear me a little bit better. But back to the K3 in Central PA, I really appreciate the call. K8DXX listening.